And to me, the best application on this phone is Google Maps. Google Maps, because the phone is GPS, you know where you are. If you're moving, it shows you the direction you're moving. You can get traffic and satellite mode. It's a great application. And one thing, because it's a Java app, initially it's going to take a little while loading. But any Java application on this phone, once it's loaded, if I click the blue dot, it would zoom to my location. Let's close the application, and it says yes or no or minimize. So now if I go to the home screen, anytime you have a Java application running in the background, you see the icon there. So if I now access that through the menu system, it goes straight back in. So you can run, I guess, background apps on this phone. So the final sort of set of applications to look at, you have a file browser which allows you to browse things on the phone or on the memory card. And this is certainly where using the D-pad is quicker than using your finger. Organizer is a collection of small tools. These are all sort of things you expect to be on most phones these days. Calendar, contacts, alarms, timers, stopwatches. There's a little T-Mobile app to access your account balance and remaining minutes. All pretty standard apps. Just quickly, that on the main screen of the phone there's an icon in the top right which gives you quick access to changing sound profiles if you need to make your phone silent or vibration, or if there's an in-flight mode as well. Okay, the final thing to really say about this phone's interface is that it has something akin to Samsung's TouchWiz interface, but it's not by Samsung. So this is just really mimicking that style of having a drawer where you can drag up applications, scroll through. A lot of the things in here are just shortcuts to existing applications. There are a few dedicated widgets like a Google search bar. Sometimes for things like Google Maps, that's buried otherwise in the menu, so I find that useful to keep on the desktop. But as you can see, the screen is not that big, so it's very easy to pretty much cover up your desktop. Incidentally, I think when you start having lots of apps, you really want a minimal desktop background, otherwise it gets very hard to see what you're doing. Something else I normally keep on the desktop when I'm using this phone is this widget, and it will let you put all the widgets on top of each other, which doesn't make them very usable. This is just really a shortcut to launching to the Java section of the menu. So there's a bunch of Java apps on the phone, some we've already seen like Google Maps, some things you probably will get bored of and never use more than once, some games, but you can install other applications. So what I've done is added Opera's new browser. This is the Opera Mini version 5 second beta. Opera, I think, is a lot quicker than the default browser. It doesn't support an automatic landscape mode, but you can change the orientation of the screen manually. So this is loading the BBC News page. I just want to show that Opera does a very good job at giving you the whole view of a page. You can click once to zoom, and it's pretty quick with the D-pad to move around. And if I easily zoom back out, if I use the cursor now, choose an area of the page, Opera, I think, for many websites is a better alternative than the default browser. Very quickly, this is another application, Snap2, I've added. It's a free Java application which actually contains many mini applications. There's a newsreader, Wikipedia, weather, but the Twitter client on this is a particularly good Twitter client for a Java program, which allows multiple accounts. So quick access to Facebook, Google Calendar. So in some ways you can complement the existing tools on the phone with this one application, which most of the things in this application are better than anything on the phone, with the exception of Google Maps maybe. So that was my review of the T-Mobile Tap. I think in summary, it really depends on whether you're looking for an iPhone or an Android phone, in which case this isn't Android and you will be disappointed. If you're looking for a basic phone with a good feature set, This is a good phone in my opinion. It has 3G, GPS, touch screen, built-in radio. A lot of those features are implemented in quite a basic manner, but they do work. It's unlikely, I guess, there's going to be any over-the-air updates for this phone, so you're pretty much locked in, and that's my main issue with the phone, that there's nothing you can customize. If I could add a dedicated widget to the home screen to link to a web page or a specific Java app, if I could remove the default bookmarks or customize the layout of the menu screen, that would make the phone a better phone. Just a simple giving you some control over the phone, but it doesn't do that. The touchscreen's a little clunky sometimes, and especially when you're texting, sometimes it's easier to get ahead of the phone's capability to keep up. Those are sort of minor issues, but if you've ever spent any time using an Android phone or an iPhone, you're probably going to find this disappointing. But the other thing is, it's only $179 without a contract on T-Mobile's new Even More Plus plan. So that's considerably cheaper than most Android phones. And the other thing to factor in is that the data plan for this phone is only $10 a month. If you're on an Android phone, you're looking at $25 a month. So over the course of a couple of years, that's going to save you another $300 to $400. So I would say marks out of 10, 6 out of 10. The Google Maps with GPS is the best thing for me about this phone. If you add in the fact that you can add Opera browser and this Snap 2 application to give you a good Twitter client, that tilts the balance a little more, and I would say 7 out of 10. So there you go, 7 out of 10 for the T-Mobile tab.